Welcome back again. Mrs. Middleton here for our third day this week of Writer's Workshop, week 2, day 3. And our lesson today, as you can see, is called Stretch It Out. Stretch it out. Sounds like yoga, but it's not. If you want to do yoga before, go right ahead. But right now, this is about stretching out details in our writing to make our personal narrative just full and fun to read. Today, you are going to need crayons, pencil, your writing folder, of course, and I've pulled out some things out of my writing folder to show you that you might want to pull out today. Some we will definitely need, some we might need. We may need, probably will need our small moment paper because it has all of our details on it. We will also need the draw it out paper that you did yesterday. But I do want to show you that I fixed a little something on here. I did not like my picture from yesterday, so I changed it. And you're welcome to do that too. You can always change and make things better because I feel that this one has more detail. This is right after my moment of catching the ball. It shows that I'm at the concession stand. It shows that I have my Pepsi. I have a big smile and lots of fuzzy, fizzy bubbles coming out of my Pepsi. And if you look here, those are some of my right after my moment details I wanted to use. Big smile, Pepsi, concession stand. So these are different things I needed in my narrative. Okay, so what we're doing, we drew it out yesterday, drew out the main parts, the beginning, middle, and end. Now we're going to take the details from our pictures and we're going to put them onto another paper and then write in as much detail as we can to stretch out all of our details and explain what's happening in these 3 pictures. Now, all you will need is 3 pieces of paper, or if you're working in a notebook, your notebook, but you will need 3 pieces of paper, and all you will need to do is at the top of the paper, draw a rectangle, and that is where your picture is going to go. And you know, I don't think I did a very nice job, so I'm going to try that again. It's best to use pencil, and like I just did, because if you use pencil, you can erase. Okay, where is my good pencil? Draw a rectangle, because at the top of our stretch it out paper, you're going to draw in detail again that first picture like we did and draw it out. So we're going to sketch it here. And then if you want to write lines, you can. If not, maybe a parent can help you. Or if you don't need lines, like we never use lines in class for this, you don't have to. But I'm going to show you how I was able to stretch out my details. So we need one that says number 1. You'll need another that says number 2. And these will go right along with the draw it out paper. And then third, one that says number 3. Why don't you put me on pause right now so you can get your pencil, your crayons, and your paper that you need, and then also the draw it out paper from yesterday, and also the small moment detail paper that we've been working on for a few days. So I'll see you in a minute. Thanks for coming back and being ready to write. We have our tools, so let's get started. So I'm going to start off showing you my stretch it out paper. And I went ahead and started writing because I wanted to save time so you guys didn't have to sit through a huge long lesson today, but I want to show you something. Here's my Stretch It Out paper. Let me move my little picture here and move my screen. Make me a little smaller. Okay, there we go. And to make things go faster for me today, I took the pictures that I had from yesterday and I just drew the same thing again. Although I added a detail here. Remember I said in my small moment paper that some of the kids were faster runners and they were getting the ball first? Well, I drew them in because I wanted to be able to write about that. Okay, so that is my right before my small moment. This is the beginning of my story. This is the first part of Stretch It Out, and that matches my first Draw It Out paper. Okay, so I went ahead and wrote out my right before, my beginning of my story, and I wrote the end, but I did not write the middle because I wanted to do that with you watching me. But so here's my story, and again, I try to use as many of the details from this page as I could. It was the 4th of July weekend, and I was at the baseball park watching my brother's game. Notice I have my 4th of July clothes on. That helped me remember to write that it was the 4th of July weekend, okay? And I wanted to tell why I was there. I was at my brother's game. I was so hot, sweaty, and thirsty, and I put an exclamation point because I really felt that. And you can see the sweat coming off my head, and you can see I'm kind of leaning over because I'm so hot and sweaty. If only I could catch a foul ball and return it to the concession stand for a free Pepsi. Oh, I was so hot and sweaty I could have used a Pepsi. All the fast kids were getting them. And do you see, this is a detail I drew in to remind myself to write about all the fast kids were getting them. And I'm also making sure that when I'm writing anything that is a snap word, I'm making sure that I'm spelling it correctly. All right, so that was my beginning. Now I'm going to move to the middle, and this is where I am going to start writing with you. Okay, so here's my second one, my Sketch It Out. Or I'm sorry, not Sketch It Out, Stretch It Out. Now remember, everything in the green is what I want to focus on. That finally I caught the ball. I screamed. I felt my hands on the leather of the ball. I was so excited to get a ball. So those are the ones I'm focusing on. None of the blue, none of the pink, just the green. So I included that information in my picture. So here we go. Let me grab my marker and I'll start writing. Now, before I catch the ball, I have to say something about the ball coming to me, because as you can see in my picture, the ball is coming to me. So I will say finally, because I've been waiting so long, finally, and then I have a pause there. Finally, a foul ball was coming right to me. And because I said finally, that's like really, I mean, I'm stressing that it was so like such a big moment. So I was excited about that. So I'm going to put an exclamation mark. Finally, a foul ball was coming right to me. I reached my hands high in the air. Now notice this. How did I remember to write that? That I reached my hands high in the air? It's from my picture. My hands were reaching high in the air. And then I'm grabbing the ball. I could feel the dusty leather of the ball. And it's dusty because I'm at the ballpark and everything is dusty at the ballpark. I could feel the dusty leather of the ball in my hands. Now, right now, I'm going to check my list and make sure that I included everything I wanted. Remember, I'm doing the green right now. The middle part is the green. I finally caught the ball. I included that. I felt the leather of the ball in my hand. I wrote that. Oh, I did not write. I screamed. I want to include that for sure. And I did not write. I was so excited. So let me go back. Finally, a foul ball was coming right to me. I reached my hands high in the air. I could feel the dusty leather of the ball in my hands. I screamed. Now, should we say why I screamed? I'm happy. So maybe I should say I screamed with joy. I don't want people to think I'm scared. I screamed with the joy. And then the other thing I said was that I wanted to say how excited I was. I was so excited to catch the ball. It's a good idea to keep checking your small moment page. Oops, I misspelled it because I was talking. I was so excited to catch. And if you make an error, you can erase it or just put one line through it. To catch the ball. Okay, another exclamation point. It was a very exciting time. Okay, now that I'm done with that, I'm done with my middle, I'm going to show you what I wrote for my end. But before that, I'm going to show you what I need to include in my end. Notice, I want to include that I had a big smile. Remember, blue is the end. I ran to the concession stand, handed the ball, chugged the Pepsi. It was so refreshing. I'm going to include all that information. Now, I've already written it to save time. Oops, that's the wrong one. I've already written it to save time. So I will read this with you and we'll look at my picture. I'm standing at the concession stand with a fizzy, bubbly Pepsi, smile on my face. Here we go. I ran as fast as I could to the concession stand. I traded the ball for a Pepsi. I chugged it as fast as I could. It was so cold, bubbly, and refreshing. See, I'm using all those details that I wanted to use. I walked around the rest of the day with a big smile on my face. And that's the end of my story. Now, I want to restate what we're doing here today. We're taking our Draw It Out page and using it to help us make our pictures on the Sketch It Out or Stretch It Out pages. We're using our small moment sheet to make sure we have all the details that we want to include. And then we're just writing what happens right before the small moment on the first page with that picture. What happens during the small moment, that's page number 2. And then what happens right after. Remember that all personal narratives have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and they are detailed, and they are written about a small moment. Using all these papers that we did today, you will be able to begin crafting a wonderful personal narrative, and we have lots more that we want to do with this next week. So I hope you have fun writing. I know I did, and I can't wait to read your writing. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. There we go.